I have signed 4,000 death certificates. Let that number sink in. For 1,000 times, I have stood in a sterile room, listened for a pulse that wasn't there, checked a pupil that didn't react, and marked the time of death on a piece of paper. For 1,000 times, I have walked out to a waiting room, taken a deep breath, and destroyed a family's world with a single sentence. I have practiced medicine for 53 years. I am 102 years old. I have outlived my colleagues, my wife, and 2 of my own children. I am the last witness to a half-century of dying. And I am going to tell you something that might make you angry. It should make you angry. Most of those 4,000 people didn't have to die when they did. They didn't die from bad genes. They didn't die from bad luck. They died because they ignored the signals their bodies were screaming at them for decades. They died because they treated their health like a lottery instead of a savings account. They died of choices. I first started noticing the patterns in 1972. I was a young doctor then, full of arrogance and textbooks. But the textbooks didn't explain why some of my patients at 60 looked like they were 90, frail, gray, shuffling, and why some at 90 looked like they were 60, sharp, upright, vibrant. So I started watching, not just their charts, but their lives. I became a spy in the house of aging. I am telling you this now not because I want your applause for living a century. I am telling you this because I am tired. I am tired of watching people unknowingly commit slow-motion suicide. I am tired of holding hands that have gone cold 20 years too soon. I have identified 5 distinct poisons. You are likely consuming at least 2 of them right now. The chair is the coffin. The first poison is the chair. In 1981, I started keeping 2 sets of notes. One for patients who worked on their feet, nurses, construction workers, teachers. One for patients who sat, accountants, lawyers, executives. The difference was not subtle. It was catastrophic. The sitters were aging at a rate roughly 40% faster than the movers. Their blood work was worse. Their recovery times were longer. Their hearts failed sooner. Here is what happens when you sit for more than an hour. Your biology shuts down. The electrical activity in your legs goes silent. The enzymes that break down fat, lipase specifically, drop by 90%. Your blood turns into sludge. Your lymphatic system, which has no pump of its own and relies entirely on your movement to flush out toxins, stops working. You become a stagnant pond, and nature destroys stagnant ponds. I had a patient, a brilliant judge. He was disciplined. He swam laps every morning at 5 a.m. for 45 minutes. He thought he was bulletproof. But then he sat on the bench and then in his study for 12 hours a day. He stroked out at 71. His morning swim could not undo 12 hours of stillness. You cannot exercise your way out of a sedentary life. It is mathematically impossible. I am 102. Every 50 minutes, no matter what I am doing, I stand up. I walk to the window. I do a squat. I trigger the muscles. I force the blood to move. If you are reading this and you have been sitting for an hour, stand up. You are killing yourself. The sleep delusion. The second poison is the badge of honor we wear about sleep deprivation. I'll sleep when I'm dead. I heard that phrase thousands of times, and my response was always the same. If you don't sleep, you'll be dead a lot sooner. Your brain is not a muscle. It is an electrical organ that produces waste. It is a factory. During the day, metabolic trash builds up between your neurons, beta amyloid plaques, tau proteins. It is toxic. When you sleep, and only when you sleep deeply, the lymphatic system opens up. It literally shrinks your brain cells to allow fluid to wash the trash away. If you sleep 6 hours, you are stopping the cleaning crew before they finish the job. The trash stays. It accumulates. Night after night, decade after decade, I watch patients who chronically underslept in their 50s develop memory issues in their 60s. They thought it was normal aging. It wasn't. It was brain damage. It was self-inflicted Alzheimer's. And it's not just the hours. It's the continuity. Broken sleep is garbage sleep. If you are waking up 4 times a night to check your phone or go to the bathroom, you are never reaching the deep delta waves where the repair happens. You are just losing consciousness, not resting. Most of my patients lied to themselves. They drank coffee to mask the fatigue and thought they were fine. They weren't fine. Their biology was breaking. The toxicity of isolation, the third poison, is loneliness. This one is tricky because it doesn't show up on an X-ray. You can't measure it in a blood draw. But make no mistake, Loneliness is as dangerous as smoking a pack of cigarettes a day. We are tribal animals. Our nervous systems are wired for connection. We evolved to survive in groups. When you are isolated, your brain perceives a threat. It assumes you are in danger. It floods your body with cortisol. I saw patients with terrible diets and high cholesterol live into their 90s because they were surrounded by family, friends, and purpose. They were needed. They belonged. I saw fitness fanatics drop dead at 68 because they lived in a vacuum. They had perfect bodies and empty lives. After 60, your world naturally shrinks. You retire. Friends move or die. Kids get busy. If you do not actively fight against this, if you do not force yourself to join clubs, make calls, and show up, you will wither. Loneliness is inflammation. Connection is medicine. If you spend your days in silence, your body hears it as a death knell. The nutritional lie. The fourth poison is the food pyramid. For 40 years, I parroted the medical establishment's advice. Eat low fat, eat grains, drink juice, avoid butter. I was wrong. We were all wrong. And I have to live with the guilt of that advice. We told a generation of older people to eat bread and pasta and avoid healthy fats. We created an epidemic of insulin resistance. Here is the truth the industry doesn't want to admit. After 60, your metabolism changes. You become insulin resistant naturally. You cannot process carbohydrates the way you did at 20. That healthy, whole wheat bagel is spiking your blood sugar just as much as a candy bar. High blood sugar is rust. It corrodes your arteries. It inflames your brain. It feeds cancer. I changed my diet at 65 when I saw the data starting to turn. I stopped eating processed carbs. I started eating healthy fats, olive oil, fish, nuts, avocados, eggs. My inflammation markers dropped through the floor. My energy returned. My wife, she was stubborn. She trusted the old ways. She ate her toast and her low-fat yogurt until the end. She suffered for it. Her joints ached. Her energy crashed. She developed diabetes that she didn't need to have. Don't eat like it's 1980. The science has moved on. The acid of worry. The fifth poison is chronic anxiety. I don't mean clinical panic attacks. I mean the constant, low-level hum of worry. Worrying about the news. Worrying about money. Worrying about your adult children. Worrying about things you cannot control. I had a patient, a wealthy man, retired, safe. He had everything a man could want. But he spent 8 hours a day watching cable news and worrying about the state of the world. He was in a constant state of sympathetic nervous system arousal. He was vibrating with stress. He died of a heart attack at 68. His heart was fine structurally, but his chemistry was poison. He worried himself to death. You have to learn the art of letting go. This is not spiritual woo-woo. This is survival. If you cannot solve it, you must not carry it. Stress hormones destroy your immune system. They age your skin. They weaken your heart. They kill you. The tale of two lives. I want to tell you about my wife. We were married for 61 years. I loved her more than breath itself. She was my anchor. But she didn't listen. She sat because her knees hurt, which made her knees hurt more. She slept poorly and refused to change her routine or see a specialist. She ate sugar because it comforted her. She worried about everything: the kids, the house, the weather. She died at 94. You hear 94 and you think, that's a good long life. That's a success. It wasn't. The last 15 years of her life were a slow, painful slide. She wasn't living. She was enduring. She lost her mobility. She lost her sharpness. She lost her joy. She spent her final decade in a chair, watching the world through a window in pain and confusion. I am 102. I live alone. I cook my own meals. I walk every day. I read history books. I sleep 7.5 hours a night. I can still do a squat. I can still remember the name of my first grade teacher. I am not lucky. I am disciplined. I made choices. Hard choices. Choices that meant saying no to the chair, no to the cake, no to the worry. Choices that meant going to bed when I wasn't tired and waking up when I wanted to sleep. Choices that meant forcing myself to go out when I wanted to stay in. You are making choices right now. Today. This hour. You can stand up. You can go to bed an hour earlier. You can call a friend. You can put down the sugar. You can turn off the news. Or you can continue as you are. But I have signed 4,000 death certificates. I know how the story ends if you don't edit the script. I know the sound of the regret in a hospital room. It is the loudest sound in the world. You are still here. You still have a chance. Your body is forgiving, but it is not infinite. Don't waste it. Stand up.